This 3-1 is going to be a hot shot, and that is gone! That's over the scoreboard for a home run for Kyrie Miller. 2-run shot.
And that's going to be a fly ball deep to center field. That ball is off the wall. And that is going to be where Creek Robertson scores.
This pitch for Emery. Emery looks like it's going to fly. Just gets down. 1 run scores. 2 run scores. Emery gets a 2 RBI single for the Red Foxes to increase that lead to 6-1.
Monroe to Hall. Hall looking for space, giving it back to Monroe, giving it to Shepard, giving it to Howe for 3, and it's good! Gonna give it over to Martin. Martin's gonna look inside to Hill. Hill's gonna go up, uses the backboard to advantage, count it, and the foul. Rowe to Brown. Brown to Hall. Hall's open for 3, just off the mark. Rebound Shepard. Put back is good! 16 seconds on the shot clock. Cotillier is trying to find someone, giving it over to Hill. Hill is gonna give it to Martin. Martin's going to shoot the 3-point shot, and she connects. Now Rebels up by 5. Hazard with movement, and he's going to be a play action. And he's going to throw it over to Hazard for a couple yards. Hazard fights through tackles, and he's off to the races. Hazard down to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Into the end zone. Touchdown! Hazard for the Rebels. This time Holland's going to take the pass. Take the football, and he's going to pass it over to Nem. Nem breaks 2 tackles, and he breaks that last tackle, and he's going to dive into the end zone for South Kingstown, and that's going to be Chris Nem with the touchdown. Shot on net again, and a shot, score! Right, Casey! Casey with the first goal of the night. This time it's Casey. Scored 1 earlier. It looks like it's good. He scored! A shot and it's scored by Leone with the goal. Puts it into back of the net. Schweitzer scores. Red Sox, who are just above the Blue Jays and the Yankees, 2 games ahead. And then you got Toronto Blue Jays and the Yankees, who are tied for the second wild card spot. But Yankees right now are playing the Texas Rangers, and it's tied 3-3. So that should be definitely interesting to see what happens with the Yankees there. And then a little bit further back, you got the Seattle Mariners and the Oakland Athletics, who are playing right now. So those 2 teams are going to keep battling out. So those 2 teams, in my opinion, probably won't be getting in that wild card situation. But when you look at the Red Sox, they're going to have a 3-game series against the Yankees, then a 3-game series against the Baltimore Orioles. Then they got to play Washington, and that's a 3-game series. And then when you look at the Toronto Blue Jays, they play the Twins for a 4-game series. Then they got to play the Yankees 3-game series. And then they got the Baltimore Orioles 3-game series. And then for the Yankees, they actually probably have the toughest schedule amongst the teams here. They got a 3-game series against the Boston Red Sox, 3-game series against Toronto, and 3 games against the Tampa Bay Rays. So Yankees can make up a lot of ground in those games. Sox are kind of similar. I mean, not as good, obviously, but kind of similar to the San Francisco Giants, where they're unexpected to do well, and they're doing very well with some of these players from the minor leagues, stuff like that. And then they add Chris Sale, which is a huge addition for the Red Sox. Bullpen has been a little bit iffy, but Nick Pivetta has really been pitching well for the Red Sox with a 3.48 ERA for the Red Sox, which is really helping them out in the starting rotation. But honestly, the Red Sox are doing well. They're finally unpredictable team. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're very up and down, but definitely the Red Sox could be getting that wild card spot. And then you got the Blue Jays and Yankees in there too. It's all going to depend on how good the Yankees do in those 2 series. I'd say best case scenario for the Yankees is you win both of those series, and I think not guaranteed, but I think you have a very good chance of making the wild card. Has the ball in his hands. When you combine Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, it's a little iffy because both of those guys need the basketball, and Damian Lillard is an excellent passer, but the problem is CJ McCollum is not the guy who's going to just shoot the 3. He's going to drive to the basket, try to get easy buckets, and I think, honestly, they're in a transition mode. So with this said,
they needed some assets. Damian Lillard was unhappy at times. There was a miscommunication between him and McCollum. So who knows if that was an issue or what was going on there. But you get Josh Hart, you get some first-round picks, you regroup that. If Lillard wants to stay, okay, then you trade some of those assets you got and you get a big name, maybe try to sign someone for agency. Who knows? Get something that Lillard wants. Or if Lillard wants to leave, which personally I think that might happen. I get it, he's loyal, but he wants to win. He's 31, 32 years old. He's starting to get older. He cares about winning championships, not just sitting on a team making so many millions of dollars. He's going to want to win now. You trade Lillard, and then you got assets. You got all these young pieces, and with that trade of McCollum, you got so many young pieces. You get those first-round picks. You add those pieces in that McCollum deal. It's an easier transition if they trade Lillard and get that moving, or Lillard leave, or Lillard stays, and you just recruit those assets and you just get the players that fit Lillard. Because what the Blazers are doing right now is they're looking, Lillard is their guy. Right now, he is their guy. You need to recruit pieces that are going to be around him, not guys that are supplementary. You got to have guys that are going to be able to work off of him, be off ball. CJ McCollum is not that great off ball. He's a great player, don't get me wrong, but off ball, he's not there. And I think you get the assets that Lillard wants, and I think that the Blazers are in the right spot with getting some young assets, getting the athleticism that they need in that roster, and I think that's a huge piece of this trade, adding athleticism to the Blazers roster. And I think when you're looking at the primes of Goldschmidt and Arenado, you got to do something. The Cardinals fan base is probably livid because they haven't been to the playoffs in a while. They've had so many disappointing seasons. They're ready to win. They're the second best in World Series championships behind the Yankees at winning. They're frustrated. That's a baseball town. I've been there before. Busch Stadium, it's electric in the postseason. It's a great atmosphere, and they want to win. They got Goldschmidt, Arenado for a reason. They're ready to win. You got to get pitching. You got to get Trevor Story, get some outfield help, and I think they will do it, especially with the new rules in place like you guys mentioned, the DH. The DH is going to be huge, and I think they're going to make a big move. I think it's going to be multiple moves. It's going to be multiple moving pieces, and it's not just going to be, okay, we're trying to trade a prospect. Paul DeJong might be on the move. You're talking about other scenarios of young outfielders going out, trading for a bigger outfielder, and I think the St. Louis Cardinals will go out there once the lockout is done, make some moves, booster that roster, and maybe try to make some things happen next when we come to the MLB baseball season.